Hey learners, welcome back. In the video series on the chapter Analysis of Financial Statements, today we are going to discuss the remaining points of the topic Limitations of Financial Statement Analysis. In the last video, we have discussed with the first 2 points. Rest points we shall be discussing in this video. In case you have missed that video, do check it before. I shall put the link in the description box. And for now, let us continue with the remaining points. Do not reflect the changes in price level. That means over here we are talking about inflation. The figures given in the financial statements do not show the effect of changes in price level. As such, the comparison of the past year figures with the current year figures may lead to misleading conclusions. For example, if in 2017 a firm sells 10,000 meter of cloth for rupees 10 lakh and the same firm in the year 2018 sells the same type of cloth for 10 meter at rupees 15 lakh, it discloses an increase of 50% in sales. Now try and understand. In 2017 also it used to sell 10 meters of cloth. In 2018 also it is selling 10 meters of cloth. Just the difference is that the selling price in 2017 was 10 lakh. The selling price in 2018 is 15 lakh. So what is the business showing now? The business is showing that earlier I used to have a sales of 10 lakh. But now I am having a sales of 15 lakh. It is showing through the absolute amounts. But dear students, you only tell me, has the sales actually increased? No, the sales has not increased. Actually, because this amount which he is selling, that is same. He is selling 10 meter clothes in 2017. He is selling 10 meter clothes in 2018. Now, as because of the inflation, as because of the cost of raw materials, cost of other things have gone up, so could be that his selling price has gone up. That does not mean that he has expanded his business and therefore his sales has gone up. Understood? In the real sense, the sales would have gone up if he would have sold maybe 12,000 meter of cloth. Isn't it? But he is selling the same quantity in different amounts and then he's selling my sales have gone up, so that is not the thing. Why? Because this changes in amount because of inflation, okay, which is not the actual sales if we consider. So this is another limitations, that through the financial statements it is very difficult to understand that has there been an actual rise in sales or the sales amount has been risen just because of the inflation or just because of the change in price level. So that is very difficult to understand. And as we cannot find it easily, we generally sit down to analyze the financial statements. Generally, a layman or a common people, what he will do? He will say, okay, earlier sales was 10 lakh, now it is 15 lakh. Okay, the business is doing good. So that is how the analysis goes wrong. Understood? Moving to the next limitation that we have is different accounting policies. Now this we have already known before, that whenever we need to have an analysis of the financial statements, maybe of 2 different years or of 2 different firms, there has to be same accounting policies applied to both of them. Okay, but sometimes it will happen that one firm is providing depreciation on the original cost method and one firm is using the written down value method. So do you think proper analysis can be done? Or even if the analysis is done, is it correct? Is it in the true sense it has been done? No, it is wrong. Understood? So my next limitation is, it is different accounting policy. Let's read. If 2 firms adopt different accounting policies, the comparison between the 2 will be unreliable. For example, one firm using the depreciation on original cost method, another firm using the written down value method. Similarly, if we talk about the valuation of closing stock, they may also differ from one firm to another. So, the results obtained from the comparison of the financial statements, they may give a misleading picture or they may give a wrong picture. Okay, because analysis is true in the sense when it is done with the same accounting policies for both the years or for both the firms. If both firms are using different methods, or if in the same firm for 2 different years I'm using 2 different accounting policies, and then I'm having an analysis of my financial statements, whatever results I get, that will be misleading, that will be not true and fair. Next, what we have is the effect of personal ability and the biasness of the analyst. Now what is this? Let's read. The figures given in the financial statements do not speak by themselves. Hence, any conclusion can be withdrawn from these figures. Conclusions can be obtained from the analysis of these figures, which are affected to a great extent by the personal ability and the knowledge of the analyst. For example, for calculating return on capital, for calculating return on capital, one analyst may consider profits after tax, whereas another analyst may consider profits before tax. Similarly, when we are considering the term capital, for one analyst it can be only shareholders fund, and for another analyst it can be shareholders plus the long-term debts. So did you understand? This is what? This is on the perception of the analyst who is doing the analysis. Suppose you are the analyst and I am the analyst. For you are considering capital only to be the shareholders fund, means only the equity share capital and only the preference share capital you consider as capital. But when I am doing the analysis, I think that no, the debt capital should also be considered as the capital of the company only. So what do? I take equity shares also, I take preference shares, and I take the debentures value while calculating the capital amount. So don't you think we both have a different perception, we both have different viewpoints on the same items? So this is how the analysis is affected. It is based on the different perceptions, it is based on the personal ability of the analyst who is performing those analysis. Different analysts have different method of working, and based on that sometimes the analysis also goes here and there. Clear? Next, what we have? Difficulty in forecasting. Now generally when we sit down for an analysis, what do? We take some past records, some past information, and we forecast the future. Okay, but as because there is so much changes in the modern techniques, in the modern businesses, the past information are hardly of any use now. Okay, the demand for the products are changing, the taxation system in the country changes. Okay, so everything is changing at such a rapid speed that even if I have some past informations, they are not of so much importance to me now, because with those information, whatever forecasting I do, that will not be applicable into reality because scenario has changed now too much. Okay, so let's read this. The financial statements are a record of past events and historical facts. In the fast changing and developing modern business, the analysis of financial statements may not be of much use in the future forecasting. So this is what I said you, even if I am having the past information, they may not be of any use to me. Continuous changes takes place in the demand of the product, the policies adopted by the firm, the position of the competition, etc. As such, no estimate based on the analysis of the historical facts can be made for the future. Okay. Next, what I have is lack of qualitative analysis. In any business, there are generally two aspects of events that happen. One is, you can say, the quantitative aspect, and one is the qualitative aspect. Qualitative aspects means those events which do not have any relation into the monetary terms, and quantitative aspects means those things which are related to the monetary terms. Now, while we were learning the basic concepts in class 11, we learned about a concept that is called as the money measurement concept. What did we learn in money measurement concept? We learned that only those events which have a monetary impact or which can be measured in terms of money are only to be recorded. Isn't it? That means we are only focusing on the quantitative aspects. We leave or we ignore the qualitative aspects. So that is the point which we are discussing, lack of qualitative analysis. Let's read. The financial statements record only those events and transactions which can be expressed in terms of money. We know the concept behind this. It is the money measurement concept. The qualitative aspect of business units are omitted from the books at all, as these cannot be expressed in terms of money. Thus, any kind of changes in management, any kind of cordial management, labor relations, firm's ability to develop new product, efficiency of the management, satisfaction of the firm's customers, everything. These have a vital impact on the profitability of the company, and still they are being ignored. And they are not recorded because these are qualitative in nature. Exactly, we cannot express these in terms of money, but they still have a lot impact on the profitability of the company. But as because they cannot be expressed in terms of money directly, they are not recorded. And this is why the point says lack of qualitative analysis. Means the financial statements which I am analyzing, they are correct, okay, but if these factors, if these things are taken into consideration, then maybe my analysis becomes more strong. Generally, my analysis is based on the quantitative aspects, but if I include the qualitative aspects also, my analysis about the financial statement, about the enterprise, everything will become 100% perfect. Clear? But as because we are not including it in my analysis, it is acting as a limitation. Moving to the next point, it says limited use of single year's analysis of financial statements. Now this is very interesting. Let's read and then I'll explain you. Results obtained from the financial analysis, they assume significance only when compared with the figures of previous period. Generally, suppose in your examination, in your second term examination, accountancy, you have scored 80 out of 100. And in the first term, you were able to score only 75. Now, in the second term, you have scored 80. How will I get to understand whether you have done good or you have done bad or you are constant in your performance? How will I get to understand? I will take the data from your previous examination. I will compare it with it. Means I have taken your data and I see that, oh, in the first term you scored 75. In the second term you have scored 80. That means your performance is improving. Same thing happens with the company also. Whenever we get some results, we don't understand it unless and until we compare it with the figures of the previous periods. Let's continue reading. For example, the profit of the firm to sales is 12%. Okay. Now whether this is satisfactory or not, it will depend on the figures of the previous year. Understood? This year it is 12%. Now, is it better? Is it bad? Is it constant? How will I understand? I will compare it with the figure of the previous years. Now, if the firm earned 10% in the previous year, then it is considered to have done better this year. Okay. However, the financial statements of 2 years may not be comparable due to changes in the accounting policies. So, this is a different thing. Now, you understand that what is this limitation all about? This limitation says that my current year's performance is not bringing out the reality on its own. Means it needs the help of the last year's data, it needs the help of the previous data to bring out the real results. If I say you that my company has a profit of 12%, so will you be able to understand that same thing? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it worse? Means individually, on its own, single-handedly, this profit of 12% does not have any impact. It is not creating on an impact on my mind. Means single year analysis of financial statements, it is not of so much use. But the moment I compare it with the data of my previous year, I get to understand that, okay, last year it was this and now it is this. Okay, that means it is doing good or it is doing bad. So this is only the point about. Means if I am getting to understand or if I am analyzing only the figures of the current year, I am not being able to understand the position, the solvency, the profitability of the business in a better manner unless and until I get a support from the data of the previous year. So this is another limitation, that without the data of the previous year, it is not of so much importance to anyone. Clear? See, let's continue with this. It is clear from the above mentioned limitations that the results obtained from the analysis of financial statements should not be taken as the true indicator of strength and weakness of the concern. The results which are obtained from the analysis, they must be read carefully, cautiously, and the limitations of the analysis must be kept in mind while taking decisions based on the results obtained from such analysis. Understood? So the overall meaning that you can derive from this topic is that blindly we should not trust the facts and figures of the analysis of financial statements, because these analysis can be wrong. These analysis cannot be true 100%. Why? Because of these limitations. Okay, so the financial statement analysis, they are not the true indicators of the strength of the company. They are not the true indicators of the weakness of the company. So that was about the limitations of financial statement.